A lot of Donald Trump supporters are taking to social media expressing that they're upset that some of their family members will not be having Thanksgiving with them. These Trump supporters think it's unfair that family members do not want to share Thanksgiving with them because of their vote for Donald Trump. Let's share some of these stories right now as it is Thanksgiving. Comments like this one from PDX Conservative. My three daughters all voted for Harris in Oregon, a state that gave all of its electoral college votes to Harris. Two of them have now stopped speaking to me, and one is boycotting Thanksgiving because I voted Trump. I did not tell them how to vote, nor ever presume to argue or convince them that they are misled by propaganda. I let them vote how they wish. It sucks that I must now suffer their childish and frankly rude behavior merely because they believe my one vote harmed them or their rights in some way. Liberalism really is a mental disorder. That's the Trump supporters are saying things like that. Or perhaps it may be because you voted to take away the rights and freedoms of your family member. Perhaps it's because you voted for someone found liable of sexual assault, somebody who was criminally convicted on 34 separate felony counts, someone who talked about bloody mass deportations on day one and continues to talk about that, someone who talks about tariffing nations, which just means a tax on consumers here, raising prices here, increasing inflation. Those may be the reason. So
Wow, this is so interesting. What this election has cost, this election has really cost a lot. It can be so painful when your father votes for someone that has been charged with several criminal charges, someone that is against some of the things you believe as a woman, and your dad goes against your wish voting for such person. That is so painful. So guys, welcome to today's video. If you are new to this space, kindly subscribe to the channel, like the video, share and leave your comments. So we're going to be looking at various reactions of Trump supporters coming out to say their families denied them coming to spend Thanksgiving with them. Although Thanksgiving is past, but I think this is a must watch for anyone interested in this. So let's dive into the video and see what they've got for us.
My brother and his fiance uninvited me from their wedding, and now I have the wonderful pleasure of uninviting them from holiday activities because they voted for Donald Trump. I just want to know what you guys think of the whole entire situation and if I'm being petty, if I'm being unreasonable. Just to give you guys a heads up, my brother gets free healthcare, my brother goes to school for free, and I helped him apply for all of those government programs. In addition to that, I gave my brother a free BMW SUV. He drives a free car. I pay for his car insurance and I pay for his cell phone bill. In addition to that, he lives at home and completely relies on the financial assistance of my mother. So this boy has the audacity to not only vote for Donald Trump, who is against women like myself and my mother, but then he has the audacity, after my mother was crying all day yesterday, he comes home celebrating his victory and rubbing it in my mom's face. Now I understand we all have different opinions and political views, but you do not go to the home of a woman who financially supports you and rub it in her face. Go ahead, laugh about it with your friends, laugh about it with your unemployed fiance. It has now been over a month that I cut my brother off and I no longer answer his phone calls because the only reason he called me anyway was when he needed money. And I know that's really hard to do. And I know right now a lot of people are going to have some very uncomfortable Thanksgivings and Christmases. But at the end of the day, I really encourage you all to protect your peace. I'm not saying that you need to cut out every single person in your life that doesn't agree with you politically. But if after this election, someone is literally taunting you, laughing at your face, and disrespecting you, regardless of what political party they are a part of, that person doesn't need to be in your life.
So I get where this young lady is coming from. Like, this brother is so dependent on her and his mother for survival, and he votes for DT. He comes back and is making mockery of them that their own candidate lost. Well, I understand where they are coming from. That is uncalled for. You depend wholly on these people and you have to come back and mock them because their candidate didn't win. Then if that is the decision they took, then maybe I would say I support them. If your candidate won, then I think you should just be happy and just move on. It's not to the level of making mockery those that their candidates didn't win.
So I just watched a video of a young lady who was sharing her story of how she was uninvited from Thanksgiving from her own auntie. And her auntie is the one who was hosting the family for Thanksgiving. So that means she's essentially been rejected from Thanksgiving with the family, right? And there was some gaslighting around this woman's story that I have to address. So somebody in the comments said, what happened to not sharing your politics or not sharing your vote? Something like that. And here's the problem with that type of comment. You're making it as if the core issue is in the fact that this young lady's politics are public, as opposed to the immaturity of her aunt, who is willing to reject her own niece on the basis of politics. Now, I'm not one of these people who undermines what politics is, especially what it's become, right? It says a lot about somebody's value system. It says a lot about what they stand for, etc., right? And for many of us who are conservative, moderates, right-leaning, even classic Democrats, we have certain value systems that are no longer represented by the left, right? One of those being family, the traditional family in the way it's been for millennia. So when I saw that comment, I thought to myself, this is interesting that this young lady is the one who is being seen as the problem because she may have shared her politics, a crucial aspect of who she is, as opposed to the auntie who can't overlook that aspect for one day to have this one celebration. She is so triggered and she is so emotionally immature that she actually can't even be in the presence. She doesn't have to talk to her niece or whatever it is, but she can't even be in the presence of her own niece because of her vote. And in the video, she was actually saying her aunt was more upset that she didn't vote for Kamala as opposed to voting for Trump, right? So if she had not voted at all, it would have still been an issue. She said you have to vote for Kamala, otherwise there are repercussions. And of course, we now see those repercussions, which are you will be excluded, you will be rejected from this family. That's what we call conditional love. And I believe conditional love to be no love at all. So if you're one of these individuals out there who has been rejected by your so-called family because of your vote on November 5th, you're not missing out on much. You're not.
I will not be sharing a Thanksgiving meal tomorrow with anybody who voted for Trump. How about you? No, I will be. See, the good thing about not having Trump derangement syndrome is that you can see people for more than just who they voted for. And more as like your family, your friends, stuff like that. People that you've always had in your life, you know, that all of a sudden knowing who they voted for wouldn't change who they are. Maybe I'm a little old school. I don't know. Am I the crazy one here? But anyway, I hope everybody has a beautiful, blessed Thanksgiving and that you're not getting cut off by your family and friends based on who you voted for.
So with 2 days to go until Thanksgiving, many of us are still asking ourselves a very important question: whether or not it makes sense for us to knowingly put ourselves in the same place at the same time with people, you know, friends, family, who've once again voted for Donald Trump, or maybe even voted for him for the first time, which is even more astounding, right? This is a hot topic right now, what to do about some of these relationships where there's a lot of trust lost, or maybe no trust left at all, if there ever was any trust. I've got one friend who had travel plans to go see her grandmother, and she and her grandma got in a fight when she found out grandma voted for Donald Trump this year, and my friends canceled her travel plans, and grandma just can't believe it. And in instances like that, it's even more disappointing, right? Because some of these individuals are the people who taught us what it means to have respect for others, empathy, the golden rule, treat others as you want to be treated, right? And it's like, did they not ever believe any of that shit that they were teaching us that we actually bought into? Or did they just lose touch of it somewhere along the way? What actually happened, right? So it's even more disappointing. So some of my friends are asking me my opinion on how to handle these relationships. So here it goes. Look, I cannot speak to your relationships with your friends and family. I can only speak to my own. I can't speak to your temperament. I can only speak to my own. And, you know, whether or not it makes sense for you to put yourself into a potentially volatile situation where there could be conflict, that's up to you. I am very fortunate that not a single member of my direct family that I'm aware of has ever voted for Donald Trump. Not in 2016, not in 2020, not in 2024. So that makes my family gatherings a little smoother, right? As far as friendships go, I only have 2 friends that I am actively really friends with. Like, we're in communication, we hang out. What makes those individuals different than any past friendship I've had with someone who's a Trump supporter is that those individuals actually reach out to me with questions. Especially if it's like a policy issue or something like that, they'll reach out and say, hey, Aaron, I do not understand this. Can you help me understand it? Can you explain it to me? That action on their part gives me some level of hope. Like, they demonstrate and exhibit a level of empathy, curiosity that gives me hope for them that I haven't seen from others. So, look, since Trump won the election a few weeks ago, we've heard this call for unity from Trump voters, and that can in many instances be our friends and family. And I've seen people get shocked when their friends and family who didn't vote for Trump have said, no, I want nothing to do with you moving forward. Those calls from Trump voters for unity seem like next level gaslighting to me, right? Are they aware that we are mocked? We've spent the better part of the last decade being mocked and ridiculed and belittled, and we're tired of it. And in this moment in 2024, where was an opportunity, a real opportunity to put that level of disgusting behavior and normalization behind us, that our friends or family voted for Trump and helped to revive that, right? And so you'll have to make your individual decision on whether or not it is worth your time, energy, and your mental health to put yourself in that situation, and whether or not you can handle it or even want to try to handle it. I can tell you that if it were me, I personally would not bother. I learned long ago to cut people off quick. And so if it's friends and family, and you do not think that currently, in its current state, that relation makes sense to continue, then my guidance is to cut it off. And if they think you're the bad person for doing so, that's perfectly fine. I am pretty confident that at some point, somewhere down the line, most of those individuals will have a moment of realization when they realize that it was them. Because what have they been saying? Oh, well, I can't believe that you would drive. I'm your friend. I'm family. How would you risk losing me over politics? No. You could have kept your conservatism. You could remain a Republican. But it's you who has chosen Donald Trump over me, because we've been telling you for the better part of 10 years that there was going to come a point where you had a decision to make. This guy or your family. And you've made your decision. So look, if you cut them off and at some point they come back and they realize what they've done and it was actually them that caused the rift in the relationship, then great. And if they never come back and never realize that, then who gives a fuck? Happy Thanksgiving.
With all these fuck around and find out stories, there seems to be like this misunderstanding as to why people are cutting off family members, not wanting to talk to people, not coming for the holidays. Listen to this story and see if you see what I'm saying. My 3 daughters all voted for Harris in Oregon, a state that gave all its electoral college votes to Harris. 2 of them have now stopped speaking to me. And 1 is boycotting Thanksgiving because I voted for Trump. I did not tell them how to vote, nor ever presume to argue or convince them that they are misled by propaganda. I let them vote how they wish. Very kind of him that he let them vote, by the way. He let them vote how they wish. It sucks that I must now suffer their childish and frankly rude behavior merely because they believe my 1 vote harmed them or their rights in some way. Liberalism really is a mental disorder. Okay, sir, and anyone else that seems to have this thought process. We do not think your 1 vote is what mattered. It is that your morals seem to align with this man. You voted for somebody who is repugnant, who is morally against everything that we believe in. And as we are now seeing with his cabinet picks, his tariffs, all the things he is doing now, we know that we are right in this. So no, it is not because you let them vote. It is not because that they are misled or that they believe your 1 vote harmed them. It is because you do not support them. your daughters. You did not stand up for their rights. That is why, that you do not love them enough to be able to recognize the person that you voted for. And lastly, to the kind gentleman that recognized me at the DFW airport today, I am sorry that I am awkward in real life. Sometimes I speak on here out to the void and I forget people watch it. So thank you. That made my day.
So yesterday I posted a video about there's some liberals in my family and they were going to be at the Thanksgiving dinner. And these liberals, we haven't spoken since, I don't even know, years now. And not because of me, because of them, because I get along with everybody. And when I tell you in real life I get along with everybody, I get along with everybody. But these particular family members didn't want anything to do with me through the election because they saw my here. I tried to call them and, just say, hey, enough's enough. We're family. We're not going to be doing this. I mean, these are first cousins. I mean, we can't be fighting like this. We can't do that. So I ended up going to my family's home yesterday for Thanksgiving. And I saw their car. They were there. And when I pulled up, I'm like, oh, here we go. So I walked in and I walked up and I killed them with kindness. I walked up and gave them a hug. Hello. Hi, guys. How you doing? But when I drove up to the house, there were Trump flags everywhere. My freaking family is funny. They did not care. They didn't take them down. They knew they were coming over. And when we walked in, Trump was in. Did you guys see the video? I posted it on here. You got to see it. Go see it. It's really funny. But Trump was everywhere. I mean, when you walked in, he was standing at the podium. And they got a Christmas Trump. They wanted Trump to celebrate Thanksgiving with us because we're so grateful that he is back in office again. And we invited Trump over. I kept glaring at my cousin. She said something. She goes, does he have to be everywhere? I mean, everywhere. Walked by and I was like, yeah, does he have to be everywhere? He already won. I walked away. She goes, oh, real nice. I'm like, oh my God, I had to. But we rekindled our relationship, which is nice. We're trying to step over that log. Just wipe it. It's an is what it is situation. And, I'm happy she rectified her mind because my mind was fine. She called me this morning and she actually apologized to me because I was the one reaching out to her. I'm like, why are you mad at me? I was like, I'm just going by what I want in my life. It has nothing to do with us. Anyway, that's my rant this morning. I hope everybody has a good day and I hope other people rectified with their family members as well.
So guys, you see this thing called politics, it is very dicey. And politics is something that has broken a lot of relationship, a lot of friendships, a lot of families turning against each other because people are not in line with the same candidates. Like this person is voting for another candidate and this other person is in support of the other candidate. And when things like this happen, you see that people start turning down against each other. And I don't think this is something that should be happening. I think we're talking about love here. If you're my family member, if I say you're my friend, I should love you unconditionally so that in the case where things like this come up, we just put those things aside and life moves on. Because I don't understand how family members are going to be coming against each other, whereas these politicians behind closed doors, they are friends. Behind closed doors, they take tea together, they take coffee together, they take drinks together. So why should I now turn against my own family or my own friend or divorce my spouse because of a political candidate? I don't think it is worth it at all. It is not worth it in any way. I understand people have got their choices, people have got the candidates they want to vote for, but there is life beyond politics. So I don't know. I don't know how people see this, but going against your family members, friends, and relationships that are so dear to you, going against them because of a political candidate, I think is something people should have a rethink about. So guys, that brings us to the end of today's video. Kindly drop your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section respectfully. And if you know you're new here, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share, leave your comments, and we are going to see in the next one. Bye bye.